Ah, right, okay.
Stay on it.
Yeah.
Keep as tight an angle as you can, remembering the direction you're travelling away, obviously, is the angle's got to be facing the bloody mask. Oh, come on. No. This is not right.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do some welding. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm not particularly good at welding. I do a bit of stick welding and it looks like a flock of starlings came over and pooed all over my metalwork. The great news today, we have Dr. Jason Andrews, and we're in his shop. Jason, nice to meet you, mate. You all right? Yeah. This is brilliant. I can't wait. So what are we going to do today then, Jason?
Oh, I think we'll start off with a little bit of stick welding, just to get your eye in.
Stick welding, okay, yeah. So teach me actually how to stick weld properly, yeah. And then
we'll get you on the MIG welder.
On the MIG welder, okay.
And then once your eyes are buzzing, we'll get you on the TIG welder.
Oh, that sounds absolutely magnificent. And you also have a bit of a special project that you've got going on at the moment as well, don't you?
Oh, yes, the rocket stoves.
Indeed,
yes.
Yeah.
We'll put one of those together.
That would just be amazing. I'm super excited. This is going to be brilliant. Thank you, mate. Hey, to tell you what, just where's my coffee? Yeah, less coffee actually. Give us a bit of a heads up then. What's the right way to stick weld? I've you know, because obviously the rod disappears. You've got to maintain that arc. The rod disappears, so you're moving the rod in as that rod is being eaten away. Yeah. And at the same time, I've been moving that rod left and right and down towards, you know, trying to put those two pieces of metal together. And I must admit, my rods are a bit damp, and my kit is very basic. It's a, you know, one of these little sort of transformer boxes. It's not particularly good.
For starters, I mean, when you first start out welding, the last thing you need to do is manipulate your rods. So you want to keep your rods straight. What I'll do with you today is I'll give you a test piece, which is something we all used to use when we started out in our first year. And you'll basically just run weld after weld after weld, got a layer pad.
Okay.
So, and you keep your rod straight, no manipulation.
Yeah, so you're not moving the rod around.
You're feeding the rod in, keeping a nice straight weld. Yeah. Come to the end, then you do it again.
Okay. So you layer in over the top, over the top.
Then,
right. Yeah.
Then you'll change direction again.
Yeah.
When you start manipulating the rod, that's a little bit more advanced. But to get you welding, you just need to control that rod and keep it straight.
Okay.
And we'll go over the ampage requirements for the rods you're using, what particular rod you're going to use.
Yeah.
Because that makes a big difference.
Okay. And what kind of rods I see you've got a few rods over there at the minute. What kind of rods are we looking at?
2.5s, which is what you're going to use.
Oh, crikey, look at those. Those are big boys, aren't they?
Well, these are babies, but so that's a 60-13. That's probably, as far as I'm concerned, that's the easiest rod anybody can do.
60-13. So that's sort of your bulk standard welding rod there, then. Okay.
All right, and that'll pretty much weld any position.
Yeah. So if you're welding upside down in a car and whatnot, and I always used to have fun when I would try to get it started, and it would stick, and you know, and
again, if you've got damp rods, these aren't kept in an oven. These are quick go-to rods.
Shop rods, okay,
So they're not kept in the oven, so they aren't perfect. Yeah. We'll get you started on these. Do a couple of runs with these 2.5s.
Yeah.
We'll move you up to a 3.2, which means a little bit more ampage.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see then how the difference it all makes with the ampage control, the speed of travel, your angle. Angle makes a big difference.
Okay.
And obviously we're going to be short circuit, so we're going to be pretty much in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could do spray arc, but really don't need to. The amount of power, and that's just going far too far for you.
Do I need to put a different jacket on? Be all right? Okay.
I've got a fire extinguisher.
You got a fire extinguisher. Right then. Oh, crikey, that's got a...
Yeah.
Right, that feels relatively good. Right, one of those. Whoop, hello, didn't realise that was live. Yeah, okay, lovely.
You've got a rod that's already started, so that might not start as easy as the next one.
Okay.
Get yourself in a comfortable position. Which direction are you going to run?
I feel like that would be an easy direction for me.
So you want to run sideways.
Or what do you reckon? Should I be going that way or that way?
Whatever way feels best.
And I think if I just go like that.
Okay. It's probably a little bit more difficult for you starting out running that way. So you want to be where I am.
Okay. Ah, right. Okay. Well, let's swap places then. Yeah. Don't know why I've got my mask down. I'm not even welding. Right. So we'll have a go then, shall we? Okay. Here goes nothing. Ready? I'm not. Here we go. Dubious engineering welding attempt number 1. Oh, there she goes. Am I a bit fast?
You're too far away. Bring it closer. That's it.
All right, closer in, a little bit slower.
You're not that's it. You're letting the rod burn too far.
Right, sorry, can't hear you. Say again?
So you were letting the rod come away a bit too far there.
Right, okay.
You actually got a nice looking weld.
It's not a bad looking weld, is it? It's a bit thin, isn't it? Compared to what you
I
were running. Oh, did you? Oh. I think you got it there.
Okay.
Good Lord, look at that.
That's not.
It's not horrible, is it?
It'll work.
I tell you what, I'm going to blame my tools when I go home because, to be fair, I don't think I've ever run a weld like that before. That's lovely.
You're slow here.
Yeah, careful, it might be warm.
It is.
What am I doing telling you that? What have I still got my head on? Oh.
Right, so you're slow there.
Yeah.
You sped up a little bit there. You nearly got it, but then you started letting the rod come away from you. So
needed to get back in there.
You need to get that rod in there,
a little
not
bit,
sticking in.
Not sticking in there. Yeah. Okay.
And you'll notice when you're doing it, you'll notice a difference in the sound as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should sound like bacon frying.
Ring, bacon frying. When you're too far away, when you spray arc, it starts to ring.
Okay.
So you hear it go opposed to zzz.
All right. Well, let's have another. I feel more confident. Have another go now.
I feel you should be very confident. You do very well.
All right.
When you're holding the rod.
Yeah.
45-degree angle.
45. Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Try not to do that.
Right. Okay.
Stay on it.
Yeah.
Keep as tight an angle as you can. Remembering the direction you're travelling away. Obviously, is the angle's got to be facing the bloody mask. Oh God. No. This is not right. Right. So you're going to try and keep the angle as you're travelling away while still feeding the rod in and coming in this direction. Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, I just came off the angle then. That's just cause I had it. I manipulate everything I tell you not to do, I do. So you want to try and keep your angle constant, your speed constant, and your feed rate constant.
Okay.
So those are like 3 things to keep in mind. Also then watch the material.
Right.
So when you're welding it, if that material starts to get glow and glow and glow, you start to see it puddling away, and as if it's going to fall out, and that means you've been there too long.
Okay. Have another go then.
You go for it.
Feel a bit happier now. Right, so actually I should keep my hands off the deck then, really.
Do whatever you can to steady yourself.
Because well, this is the thing. I feel like I want to lean on the deck so that I can steady myself. Yeah.
If you're doing that, you need to be moving your arm.
So moving the arm across the. Okay, travelling. Okay. Right, let's have another go. Oh, I'm up and down like a horse drawers here, mate. That's not horrible.
That's a million times better than the last one.
Right. Are you all right? How do you unscrew this?
Unscrew the lid.
Okay, there we go. We can drop them out. Lovely. Lovely. Right, let's just get the camera on that then.
I can't see anything.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I knew it was much better. Well,
that's not bad.
Much better.
That's not bad. It's sort of straight. It does look like a stack of dimes. Mate, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
That's I'll tell you what, that's the best stick welding I've ever been able to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really nice weld. So
thank you very much.
You're not going to weld any ships together, or?
No. Shall we have a quick go at seeing if I can put two pieces of metal together?
I think we will.
I don't want to, burn through all of your sticks and all of your metal.
I'm going to use something a bit heavier to weld together, though.
Yeah, okay, so a bit heavier gauge, okay? And we can have a look at the penetration. Oh, I do like that word.
What I've done is I've given you an opportunity to fill. So
okay.
I've beveled the material out.
Yeah.
I haven't beveled it completely.
Okay.
Ideally, the bevel would be to the end.
Right.
All the way through, all the way down. So you can lay a root in there. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So realistically, that position there is where your second and third pass would mainly be. But
right.
You're going to lay your root into that, and then you're going to lay a cap on top of that.
Okay.
All right.
So what are we doing? Are we doing 2 passes or 3 passes?
You probably do 3.
Right. We got enough sticks?
You'll be doing 3 passes.
Okay.
We'll do 2 with those, and then we'll change the ampage, and we'll give you a slightly thicker rod for your cap.
For the top. Okay. Right.
Is it more there? Oh yeah, there's more in there.
So this is good thick steel, by the way, people. This is really, really thick stuff. 10 mil, so big as my little finger. Well, I'll get a close-up of that in a second. Oh, that's a bit bent, mate. Yeah. Right, okay.
I've done that a few times.
Well, this one's half smoked.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a miser.
I'm the same, mate. Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do then is one straight run down the middle, one run down the middle, and then we'll do another run and another run on top in order to sort of reinforce it, I suppose.
Yeah. So this is again. I'm making you run before you can walk.
Yeah.
But we'll run your route in there. We'll have a look at that, and then I'll explain to you what we do with the next 2 passes. Then.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
brilliant.
Same principle as before, but this time, obviously, it's there. It's in front of you. So
I've got to go that way. Yeah. Okay.
So it's going to feel different. Maintaining your angle.
So I might want to maybe come on this side like that. Yeah.
Whichever way you feel.
Yeah. No, I think my right hand is the dominant hand, so I think I'll probably come at it like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to up the amps just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Put it up on 80. Yeah.
80 amps. Okay. 80 amps. What's that? 80 volts, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these are 6013s, a standard mild steel 6013s.
Every day, easy to use.
Okay, right. So should we start with a fresh rod or should we start with a used rod?
Start with a fresh rod.
Yeah, okay.
Start with a fresh rod.
And then do you want me to run the whole thing?
Just do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Right, first bit of welding on my own. It's going to be a bit fun. Let's have a look at it then, mate. Come on.
I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to do this to you.
Come on, come on. Show them how bad I am. Right, so you can see I only made one side for most of that run, and then all of a sudden, towards the end, started actually making the other side as well. Pretty poor work, really, but it's my first day of stick welding, so.
It's not actually your fault. I've not once have I mentioned the puddle and watching to see what your rod's doing and see how the material's acting. And
right.
So you've not got your puddle to begin with.
Do you think I can rescue that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Obviously, we would never use that.
No, Christ, if I was on a job,
no, you'd have to grind straight back out. But we're just going to go ahead and run that again, just because it's good experience, and maybe I'll get some control over the weld puddle. So that's looking much better. You can see that the slag here is peeling off. So we'll just chip that off. In fact, we should be able to just pull that off. Oh, look at that! Oh, mate, there you go. You know what? I have recovered myself here, haven't I? Yeah, that's redeemed myself. Thank you. Yeah. So, Jason.
Oh yes.
You're making rocket stoves, aren't you?
Yeah. So I decided after making I think it was the Mark II rocket stove that there was maybe a commercial opportunity there. So. Yeah, we're going to start making a similar version, maybe not as complicated as the Mark II, rocket stove to basically trial on eBay. We're going to do a basic run of 10 units and see how long they go and what sort of price I can get for them. But you know, on days like this, I haven't got a job in yet. Everything's made and waiting to be fitted. I could be using these days for the. Well, I wouldn't even say it's a side project. It might actually be a full-time project.
What question for you? What do you actually do as a day job?
I'm a welder.
I'm
a welder fabricator.
You're a welder fabricator. Of course you are. Look at this shop; it's magnificent. So, but what kind of business do you take on?
I take on pretty much anything. I try to avoid any work on vehicles. I'm not a young, sprightly man.
So getting underneath a car and hacking a chassis back together doesn't sound like good fun.
It's not good fun. I had one here last week. I had a transit tipper and it killed me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So what kind of stuff do you normally get in then? Is it people's gates? Is it ships hulls?
I do ships hulls.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds quite interesting, yeah.
It can be.
Obviously dry docked, I'm guessing.
Oh, some of them are very wet. I generally get called out on emergencies, so Britain Ferry is normally where I end up.
That's amazing, isn't it? Most people look in the yellow pages and they ring the plumbers. Yeah. Obviously, these shipbuilders, they look in their yellow pages and they go, "Oh, Jason Andrews." Yeah. We'll call the welders.
The last one I had was, in fact, down in Britain Ferry, it was a load of pig iron that had been unloaded from a ship, and they dropped one. And these things, these ingots, 2.5 ton.
Right.
And they dropped them back into the hole.
Just went straight through the hole, did it? Yeah.
It went through the hold and into a ballast tank. So I had to get there. They couldn't sail unless I'd and I was racing against the tide.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Jobs like that are interesting. They're fun.
Robert Nerden's here with us as well. We should probably introduce Mr. Nerden, shouldn't we? Would you like to come round and say hello to the camera, Rob?
Come along, Rob, and I'm going to step over there.
Hello, camera! Robert Nerden, what projects have you got going on at the minute then, Rob? Because you're putting together some kind of smelting works, aren't you, or something like that?
Yeah, it's a new laugh.
Yeah.
A new day just to keep the haters away. And me and Jason just done a joint one, the wind vane for Wayne Smith, because it was his birthday, so we did him a quick wind vane.
That's fantastic. In fact, to be honest, I want to look around the shop here. I'll show you guys around the shop, well, with Jason's permission. I'll show you around the shop in a second. You've got some really cool stuff in here. So, we're very lucky to be here today. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And obviously, pop over, see Robert's channel. Obviously, pop over, see Jason's channel. We'll do this again in a minute, but Jason's actually got some rocket stoves that he's been producing, and he's gonna start going into production for Rocket Pro. Put my teeth back in. He's gonna go. He's gonna go into production on. Jason, get your ass over here, bloody hell! I'm talking about it without you there. So, Jason. Bloody hell. Vicky, my wife from Taiwan, it's her birthday. We've come over to Newport where the girls are buxom and the sheep are scared and the boys are mighty fine welders from what I understand. And on the way over, I said to the wife, I said, listen, you understand we're going into another country? She said, what do you mean we're going into another country? I said, well, it's Wales, it's disconnected from England. I said, there's border control. You did bring your passport with you, didn't you? She said, no, I didn't bring my passport with me. I said, Christ, my love, I said, look, you're going to have to take your seatbelt off and get down in the footwell. Can you not see the border control? And we're driving towards the toll point, you know, £5.60. Of course, I know this. She doesn't. Bless her cotton socks. So she starts taking her seatbelt off and she's just about to get down in the footwell. And at which point I have to be kind to her and basically say, listen, my love, I'm sorry, I'm pulling your leg. But yeah, it's just a toll bridge. It's just £5. I'm a nasty man anyway.
Cool
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.